Welcome to People Doing Good for Others, where we celebrate and praise and hold in the light individuals who are truly making significant contributions in our communities. I'm Gary York, and I'm grateful to be with you today. I want to thank Wilkes Communications and River Street Productions and 100.9 WIFM for this opportunity. Our special guest today, to my immediate right, is Rebekah Lakey. She's a senior at Wilkes Central High School, and she's going to Meredith this fall. She's a significant volunteer, and I've enjoyed meeting her. To Rebekah's right is Katlynn Noland. She's also a senior at Wilkes Central. She spends a lot of time with her sister Stephanie and her dad Ken, and they're just a great team together. So good morning to you, friends.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. And let's start, if you will, about family and how name the individuals and just a little bit about how things go there.
Okay, well, my parents are Chris and Tamara Lakey, and my mom works for Guardian Ad Litem. She's the supervisor for Ash and Yadkin in Wilkes County. My dad is a minister at Harmony United Methodist Church, and my grandparents are Arnold and Becky Lakey and Vernon and Sharon Eller.
Wow. Katlynn, tell us about your family.
My parents are Mary Jane Noland and Ken Noland, and my mom, Mary Jane, she works as a physical therapy assistant with Iredell, and my dad, Ken Noland, works as the Wilkesboro town manager. And I have a sister who's 2 years younger than me, and her name is Stephanie Noland, and she also goes to Wilkes Central.
I'm honored to also know your dad is a youth leader, and that's an inspiration for me. And I've known your grandfather, Arnold Lakey, and Ms. Becky since, I guess, 14 years when I came to Wilkes County. Ken Noland helps me in countless ways about meeting people and how to do this and how to get there. So, and now I want to go to Wilkes Central High School and the impact of that setting, if you will, in your lives, Becky and Katlynn.
Well, at Wilkes Central High School, I'm heavily involved in service organizations or clubs where I can have an impact on the school community and our Wilkes County community. So I'm involved in NHS and Beta Club. I am co-president with Shana Ferguson of Project Unified, which deals with Special Olympics and helping with the EC children. And I am also the student body secretary of Wilkes Central High School this year.
Thank you, Becky. Katlynn, your focus, if you will, at Wilkes Central.
Well, I'm also involved in a lot of the service organizations with Rebekah, like NHS and Beta, but I mostly work with Key Club, which is an organization that works a lot with Kiwanis Club, and I'm the president this year, so we're focusing a lot on the Westwood Hills Senior Home, and we've been there once already, and we plan to go there again, I think, for Christmas and Valentine's Day.
Okay. Let's talk about your part-time job.
Well, I work at the Brush Mountain Smokehouse and Creamery, and I work in the creamery section. And it is probably the best job I could ever ask for. The feel when you go in there is like you are just close friends with everyone who works there, and it's just, you feel like family. And whenever people walk in, you can recognize some of them and be like, oh, okay, they want a waffle bowl with sorbet ice cream.
Amazing.
Or you just recognize their face, and the customers are so friendly, the workers are so friendly, and if you need help, you can just go up to them. I wouldn't want to work anywhere else.
And it's where again?
The Brush Mountain Smokehouse and Creamery.
Brush Mountain Smokehouse. That's a legend place, you know.
Yeah.
That's probably the hub of town, would you say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
think
people
so,
come
too.
in there.
Yeah. Katlynn, Governor's School, that opportunity. Can you imagine, tell us about getting the letter saying you're accepted, or how did that happen?
Well, it started with my English teacher, Mr. Elledge, who told me about it, and he asked me like if I'd be interested in something like that, and I think he actually recommended me for the English program, because he was my
Okay.
English teacher. And the process after that was sort of quick. We went to a meeting and we met with other students from Governor's School that did it last year, and they told us about their experience and how much they enjoyed it. And I had to answer a lot of essay questions and basically explain that I was ready to go on like a residential opportunity, and I wrote an essay about
You had to
the
write?
book. Yes.
Okay.
And then I said that my choice was English, and I got selected by the school to be a school nominee, and then after that I was selected into the big pool where they just sort of pick throughout the state the best candidates. It's sort of like college applications, actually. And then I was one of the ones picked, and I think it's usually about like a 33% chance. And
Did they send you a letter or an email, or?
they sent me a letter, and the letter came with like a packet that had my roommate's name on it, and
Oh,
they
okay.
told me everything about going there. I got a map and like a handbook and things to bring. Yeah.
Justin Colbert.
He is a history teacher at Wilkes Central High School, and he has had a huge impact on me and probably the same amount on Katlynn as well. We both had him for APUSH last year, which is AP US History, and that class was very hard, but he helped you through it. He doesn't act like he's your teacher, like he does, but he acts more like a friend, and he'll help you and stuff. He has to be by far one of the biggest influences in my life and helping me to decide that I want to be a history teacher.
Wow.
So
What an honor. What a gift to be in his class.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was scared at first, but then it was okay.
Katlynn, Justin Colbert.
Yeah, it's similar for me. I've had him 3 different times, and I have him again right now.
3 times.
Yeah, I had him for American History 1, AP US History, and right now I have him for
Did
Civics
you
and
tell me the
Economics.
AP History class is the toughest class you've had yet?
Besides calculus, yeah. It was really difficult. The workload was incredible, and it was packed into such a short amount of time. We had to learn everything about American history in maybe 2.5 months, and it was crazy. We had to learn different writing styles and how to write DBQs and LEQs and all these weird acronyms for the final exam. And he gave us a lot of work, but we worked through it. It was a difficult class. Most people dropped it. There were only 7 of us left,
Yeah.
but we pushed through.
Really?
Yeah. 21 people had signed up, I think, and then
Oh, my
9
goodness.
people on the first day, and then by the end of the first 10 days, it was 7. So
Katlynn, Noland, how wonderful. A little bit of, if you would just add to being a writer, how do you get started? Or if you were, so you had an assignment to do 2 pages, do you do an outline to start, or how does that work?
my writing process is really strange. I'm a bit of a procrastinator with everything. So
Oh, me too.
I'm the best at the very, very, very last minute. So I think my writing prime is like 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. So I usually wait and I look and I try to come up with ideas, but I usually scrap everything at about 1 o'clock in the morning and just restart, and I get like my best idea, and then I can push through it in like an hour, and then I spend a lot of time editing it and reading over and fixing it and changing a lot of things and moving stuff around. But
Okay, thank you. I want to talk about your dad as a youth pastor.
Well, he was the youth pastor at Wilkesboro United Methodist Church
That's Chris Lakey, friends.
for over 17 years. And before that, he was a youth pastor at, I think it's Lewis Fork Baptist Church. But whenever he came to the Methodist Church, is whenever my mom was pregnant with me, and so I grew up in the youth group, and they always had either a game to play or some kind of Bible study on Sunday nights and on Wednesday nights. And he drew in like so many people. People would bring in their friends, and then their friends would end up staying because they loved it so much. Because he's just as much of a teenager as all the other teenagers in the room. He's a goofball, and he would take them on all these beach trips and mission trips, and they would just have so much fun. Everyone in the youth group was like really good friends. And it was like everyone in there was family, and you never wanted to go to another youth group because you had so much fun.
Katlynn, Noland, your dad is a role model in this community. He's the Wilkesboro manager, but a significant advocate outside of his leadership there in Wilkesboro. Significantly connected to a lot of charities, a lot of nonprofits, and you kind of partnered with him on some volunteer initiatives. Share with us some of the things you might do with and around your dad, Ken Noland.
Well, he usually informs me of opportunities around the community he's already participating in. The biggest one would be the Kiwanis Club. He's a big part of the Kiwanis Club, and I'm in Key Club, so we sort of work hand in hand anyway, but anytime he's doing something for the Kiwanis Club, he usually invites me to go with him. Earlier, I think it was this month, there was a Terrific Kids play, and he was selling tickets for it, so he invited me to go with him, and we sold tickets for maybe half an hour or so, and then we just snuck in for maybe 10 minutes and watched a little bit of the play before we left. So.
Good. I had the wonderful opportunity with the invitation of Mr. Dennis Huggins to be involved in your leadership program, and this is how we came together last Friday. So T3LC, just why don't you start this time, Katlynn, with what goes on there?
Well, this year we're focusing on giving out grants to service projects that are youth-led. So we made and went through an application process just last week, and I think soon we're going to start getting a lot of applications in for grants for service projects in our community, and we're going to get to decide actually which projects are going to get so much money and sort of directly affect them.
And the Leonard Herron family has been significantly involved in that for a long time. The T3, we talk about talent, or time, talent, and treasure. Rebekah, why don't you take that one?
Basically what that means is that people can give either their time, their talent, or their treasure to help other people or to help the community in general. So what we did last year in UTA is we did a service project over at the Rose Glen Manor, and we gave our time to the people there to just spend like a couple hours with them and just make their day kind of. And we just played some games with them. We gave them little bags that had stuff in it, and we hung out with them for a while.
So that's an assisted living facility, and just giving your time to the seniors. How wonderful. I loved the point you made about gathering in the parking lot with the group, the leadership group, and that significant bonding. Katlynn, why don't you deal with that for me?
So we started UTA with the exact same people for T3LC last year.
From the 5 high schools yes. involved, we need to talk about that. 18 of them.
There's 2 from the early college and then 4 from each high school in our district. So we all came together, and we didn't know each other for the most part. We only knew the people from our schools, and it sort of forced us to communicate with one another and do group projects together, which was really fun. And we came to different kinds of consensuses, and I think after that, starting again this year with the same people, we were just so close from last year that it's a lot easier to talk to each other, and we're more like a family.
So you made new friends, right?
Yes, and we've
Wow.
gotten closer with our older friends too.
How about that? The EC prom. Rebekah?
Well, what we do is
Exceptional children for our audience. Go ahead.
the junior Civitans put together an EC prom, which is it's like the regular prom that all the high schools have, but this is for our EC students. And what we do is we put together a theme and we make a photo booth, and they get to come, and it's not just students from Wilkes Central High School. It can be any EC students from the entire county can come, and they just get dressed up, and we have a DJ come, and we're out there and we dance with them, and then we've got food that we have set up for them, a whole line of table of just a ton of food. It's good food too. And they just come in, and you would not believe how big their smiles are whenever they get to come in there. And they make new friends with other students throughout the county, and they never forget it.
Katlynn, let's talk about Savannah Rush.
Oh, I love Savannah Rush. She is a big part in just about every single organization you can think of at our school, and she is one of the kindest people I have ever met. She goes out of her way to make sure that everyone in our school, whether she knows them personally or not, is having a great day, and that anything that she could possibly do to help them is already done.
And Shayna Ferguson.
Shayna, she is very big into helping with the EC students at Wilkes Central High School and even throughout the county. She's very big involved in Special Olympics. She's co-president with me in Project Unified, and she's over our lunch buddies and Unified Sports at the high school, which is where people go and they have lunch with our EC students at Wilkes Central, or they go in the gym during lunch and they just play basketball or volleyball or just talk with the EC students. And her heart is huge. She's kind of like Savannah. If she sees somebody that's by themselves, and she'll go up to them and she'll be like, "Do you want to come sit with us, or do you want me to sit with you?" She's just very outgoing and
Servant's
cares.
heart.
Yes, definitely.
That person that'll always reach out.
Definitely.
Right? All right, I want to talk about Smart Lunch, Katlynn, and why don't you handle that for us to start? Smart Lunch at Wilkes Central High School is an hour. Tell us about it.
So there's a lunch A and a lunch B. So each of them are 30 minutes. And for one lunch, you go and you eat lunch with your friends. And then for the other lunch, you can either go to tutoring and get help in some of your classes, or go to an intramural, which is like little activities that the teachers will hold. Or there's club meetings, so you don't have to go after school. You can do your club meetings, you can do your homework. Or if you have an 80 or above in all of your classes, you can just hang out with your friends. And so it's basically like having an extended lunch for an hour if you have good grades.
Good. Your sister.
My sister is Stephanie Noland. I love her so much. We hang out all the time. We're pretty close in age, only about 2 years of a difference. So we've been really good friends from like middle school up, after, the age of like fights and timeouts and stuff. So we're pretty good now. And she's really big into art. So she takes art lessons down at the gallery.
Right.
In Wilkesboro. And she does a lot of painting and drawing, and she's really good.
Good. Well, I'm glad that your families are so close. We're here because of the gift of Wilkes Communications and River Straight Productions. I'm here because I volunteered and I was accepted, and it's just an important part of my life. And to be here this morning with you is just such an honor. And tell us about the opportunities that, because of this community and say, Wilkes Communications and others that make things happen for us. As we close, tell us about the good lives you live and maybe some people have helped you along the way. Rebekah.
Well, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without a ton of people in my life who have helped me through a lot of rough patches and just have helped me to learn. Like, my grandparents are a huge factor in who I am today.
Noland, Becky, Lakey.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
They set a huge example to me and all of my other cousins about just what being a good person and a good citizen is.
Thank you. And Katlynn.
For me, I think the biggest motivators in my life are my best friend Katlynn and my dad, Ken Noland. My friend always motivates me to continue pushing through like whatever I'm going through and volunteering and helping in the community and finding like different ways to like help others and then like help myself. And my dad always helps by providing me with those opportunities and sharing the different things that are going on in our community. So I'm always like aware of what's going on and what I can help with.
You've honored me today to meet two significant community advocates and servants. I know you have servants' hearts, and I know that I can see the happiness in you and that you serve God, family, friends, and worthy causes. And my hope for you would be that your futures will be as bright as your smiles. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rebekah and Katlynn, thank you very much.